Far away from Earth, deeper than any human mission has ever reached before, a silent world hangs in the Black Sea of space. It is a lonely planet, small and forgotten, its dusty surface untouched for millions of years. Nothing moves around it. No storms, no signs of wind, only a long, endless darkness surrounding this strange world. And then cutting through that blackness like a bright silver blade, a spacecraft slowly appears. Its engines glow softly, its metal shell shining under distant starlight. Inside this ship, a team of astronauts prepares for something they never imagined they would face. The narrator speaks calmly but with an undercurrent of tension. Humanity has always looked at the sky with curiosity. But today, far beyond familiar stars, a team of explorers will step into the unknown, and nothing will be the same. Inside the spacecraft, everything is quiet except for the gentle hum of machines. Screens blink with soft blue light. Oxygen circulates through narrow pipes. The crew moves like shadows, checking their suits, adjusting their helmets, reading final instructions again and again, because what waits outside is unlike anything they have seen. Commander Elias, the mission leader, stands near the large viewing window. His eyes are fixed on the planet below. He has traveled through space many times before, but something about this world fills him with unease. It is not fear. Not exactly. More like a warning echoing inside his mind. The surface looks ordinary: gray land, rocky ground, patches of frozen dust. Yet every sensor, every scanner on the ship has been telling them a different story. Their instruments show strange energy pulses coming from beneath the crust. Not natural patterns, not random noise, but repeated signals like a heartbeat. The narrator continues with a slow, cinematic rhythm. For weeks, astronomers back on Earth watched the planet. They believed it was silent, dead, but then something began to speak from below the surface, and so a mission was formed. A mission not to explore life, but to discover the voice of a world that should not be speaking at all. The astronauts gather in the airlock chamber. Their white suits gleam under bright lights. Metal clasps lock into place. Oxygen fills their helmets with a soft hiss. Each heartbeat echoes in the hollow suit, making the moment feel heavier, slower, almost unreal. Dr. Liana, the lead scientist, checks the vibration sensors again. The signals are stronger now, rising every hour. It feels as if the planet knows they are here, waiting for them to step outside. She does not tell the others this thought, but the narrator says it for her. Some worlds welcome visitors. Others wake from their sleep when strangers arrive. The final green light turns on. The airlock doors begin to open with a deep metallic groan. A thin line of white light spreads across the floor as the outer door lifts. Slowly, the darkness of space fills the chamber, empty and silent. Outside is the unknown. Commander Elias takes the first step onto the metal ramp. The narrator's voice drops, and so begins the first walk on a world that does not appear on any human map. When his boot touches the surface, a small cloud of dust rises and floats lazily in the low gravity. It shimmers under the glow of his helmet light. For a moment, everything is peaceful, calm, almost beautiful. But then the ground vibrates. It is soft, gentle, like a whisper moving under their feet. The astronauts freeze. Their suits record the tremor instantly, frequency patterns blinking across their screens. Dr. Liana studies the data. The vibration is repeating, not chaotic, not accidental. This is rhythm, this is intention. The narrator speaks with suspense. A dead world does not breathe. A silent planet does not pulse. But here, something is alive beneath the stone. As they move forward, the camera follows them from behind, showing long shadows stretching across the barren surface. Their footsteps create a slow echo that disappears almost too quickly, as though the ground absorbs every sound. The sky above is a pale gray, filled with thin layers of dust-like clouds drifting across weak sunlight. The landscape stretches endlessly, flat plains broken by sharp cliffs and tall rock formations. Everything feels ancient, untouched, and strangely waiting. Astronaut Nova, the youngest of the team, points towards something glowing faintly in the distance. At first, they think it is a reflection from their lights. But as they approach, the glow becomes stronger, pulsing softly like the slow beat of a living heart. A small stone lies half buried in the ground. It is smooth, perfectly round, and emitting a blue-white light that flickers gently. No natural mineral they know behaves like this. The astronauts kneel around it. Their helmets reflect the glow, filling their faces with shifting patterns of light. Dr. Liana reaches out with a mechanical glove extension, scanning the object. The readings shock her. Energy levels are cycling, she announces, her voice shaking slightly. This rock is storing power, and releasing it, repeatedly, almost like she stops. She cannot finish the sentence, but the narrator does, almost like a signal, a message, or a warning. As the team studies the glowing rock, another vibration runs through the ground, stronger this time. Dust lifts from the soil and floats in slow waves. The astronauts quickly look at each other. This is no ordinary tremor. It is coming from beneath them, directly beneath them. Commander Elias orders them to move forward toward higher ground. They walk in tight formation, their lights cutting through the growing darkness. The distant sun is sinking behind a ridge, turning the sky into a dim twilight. Every few steps, the vibrations return, faster, louder, like something underground is following their movement. The narrator adds tension. In space, humans fear many things: emptiness, darkness, isolation. But the greatest fear is the unknown that moves with purpose. As they climb a small rise, the ground suddenly levels out, revealing a strange sight. Lines, long, perfect lines, are carved across the surface. Not random cracks, not natural erosion. These lines form shapes, patterns, almost like symbols. The astronauts stop, stunned. Nova whispers, "These look made not by nature." Dr. Liana confirms it. The carvings match no geological formation. They are evenly spaced, curved, and symmetrical. Someone or something created them long ago. A cold wind seems to blow across the landscape even though there is no real atmosphere to create wind. A shiver runs down Elias's spine. The narrator continues. Humanity has searched for signs of intelligence beyond Earth. Now, standing in the dust of an unknown world, these explorers face the possibility that they are not the first visitors to this place. As the team follows the carved lines, the glowing stone in Dr. Liana's sample container begins to pulse faster, almost as if reacting to the symbols. The light from the stone flows across her suit like soft waves. Their heartbeats quicken. Their breaths grow louder inside their helmets. And then the vibrations stop. Everything becomes still, too still, as if the planet is holding its breath. Commander Elias checks the readings. Nothing. No energy spikes. No tremors. No signals, just silence. The team stands quietly, waiting for something to happen. The darkness around them feels heavier, almost pressing against their suits. It is a silence so complete that it feels unnatural. Nova points toward the horizon. A massive shape rises in the distance, shadowed, enormous, and partly buried beneath the rocky ground. Even from far away, its smooth curves reflect faint light. It does not look like a mountain. It does not look like stone. It looks like a structure. The narrator whispers, and here on this forgotten planet a discovery waits, one that will challenge everything humans believe about the universe. The glowing rock pulses once more, brighter than before. The astronauts feel the vibration return, but now it is not beneath them. It is coming from the direction of the giant structure, as if it is calling them. As they take their first steps toward the mysterious shape, the narrator closes part 1 with deep suspense. On a silent world where nothing should live, the echoes of an ancient intelligence awaken. And these astronauts are no longer just explorers. They are witnesses to a secret the universe has kept hidden for millions of years. The giant structure stands in the distance like a sleeping giant made of metal and stone. For millions of years, it has rested silently beneath layers of dust, waiting for anyone to notice it again. Now, under a dim alien sky, a group of human astronauts approaches it slowly, their hearts tight with a mixture of fear and curiosity. The narrator begins calmly but with quiet tension. Every planet carries a story. Some stories are written in mountains and rivers. Others are carved in secrets. As the astronauts walk closer, the markings on the ground become clearer. The carvings stretch for miles, forming pathways that all lead toward the massive structure. The lines look old, older than any civilization humans know. The dust that covers them is thick, but the shapes beneath remain sharp. This tells the scientists something important. These markings were not created by nature. They were designed with purpose, precision, and intelligence. Dr. Liana studies the patterns with deep focus. She kneels beside one of the larger carvings, brushing away the dust gently. The symbol underneath looks circular, with branching lines spreading outward like a star or perhaps like a map. She records the image into her helmet system. For a moment, she forgets where she is. She forgets the silence, the coldness, the sense of being watched. Her entire mind is locked on one question: who made this? Meanwhile, Commander Elias looks toward the towering structure. Even from a distance, its presence is overwhelming. It rises from the ground not like a building, but like part of the planet itself, smooth, curved, almost organic in shape. No human structure has ever looked like this. No known alien structure either. The narrator adds, humanity has searched for life beyond Earth for centuries, yet sometimes the proof of life hides not in living creatures, but in the footprints they leave behind. As they move, a thin layer of dust swirls around their boots. The planet is mostly quiet, but faint winds, too thin to feel but strong enough to shift dust, whisper across the plain. It feels like the world is breathing. Nova, scanning the area with a handheld device, notices something strange. The ground temperature around the carvings is slightly higher than the surrounding land. Not warm, but warmer, as though heat or energy once passed through these lines. Maybe these were channels, Nova suggests, her voice echoing inside her helmet. Maybe they carried something: light, electricity, power. Dr. Liana nods slowly. It makes sense. The markings look too deliberate to be simple symbols. Maybe they were pathways, maybe they were circuits, maybe this entire land once glowed in the dark. The narrator deepens the mystery. Before oceans vanished, before storms disappeared, before the planet fell silent, there may have been light. As the astronauts continue toward the structure, the glowing stone Dr. Liana found earlier begins to pulse again, brighter now, faster, almost like it recognizes the place. Each pulse sends a faint vibration through her suit. She tightens her grip on the container, her breath growing unsteady. Commander Elias asks for a reading. Dr. Liana hesitates before speaking. It's responding to something, she says. Something ahead, something from the structure. The narrator comments, sometimes. Objects from the past act as keys unlocking stories long buried. The team stops at the base of a rocky hill. From here, they have a clear view of the entire plain. The giant structure stretches across the horizon. It is massive, far bigger than they thought, perhaps the size of a small city. Parts of it are broken, covered by sand and rock, as if time itself tried to swallow it, but other parts shine faintly under the weak sun. Nova zooms her helmet camera, scanning the surface. There are smooth walls, tall pillars, and curved shapes that seem to twist around each other. None of these shapes match human architecture. They do not match any known alien style either. They feel alive, as if grown rather than built. The narrator continues, some creations are not made by hands, but by minds that think differently than ours. As they begin their descent down the hill, the ground shifts slightly beneath them. Not like before, this time the vibration feels old, fading almost as if the planet is sighing. The dust trembles, then settles again. Commander Elias stops the team. He checks the ground readings. No active movement, no seismic threat. It was only a small tremor, but it felt meaningful. The narrator suggests, every planet with a past carries memories. Sometimes those memories rise to the surface. When they reach the bottom of the hill, they see something new, structures half buried in the sand, small ones, broken, as if they were once part of a larger complex. Some pieces are shaped like long beams, others look like fragments of walls. One piece has a smooth circular hole carved through it, as perfect as a machine could make. Dr. Liana kneels beside a fragment and scans it. It's made of a material I don't recognize, she says. It's extremely strong but incredibly light. Not metal, not stone, something else. The narrator deepens the intrigue. The forgotten builders of this world mastered materials humans still cannot imagine. The astronauts carefully move around the fragments, documenting each one. Every discovery teaches them something new. Every piece tells a chapter of a story that no one on Earth knows exists. Nova finds what appears to be a panel, flat, smooth, almost like a touchscreen. When she brushes dust off it, faint patterns appear, tiny lines that glow for a moment before fading again. She gasps. This was technology, advanced technology. Commander Elias studies it for several seconds. His mind races with questions. Who built this? Why did they vanish? Did they destroy themselves, or were they destroyed? The narrator adds mystery. Civilizations rise. Civilizations fall. The universe keeps their secrets until someone is brave enough to uncover them. As they approach the main structure, the air changes. Not literally. There is barely any atmosphere, but the feeling around them shifts. It becomes heavier, thicker, as if invisible pressure surrounds the area. The glowing stone pulses wildly now. Bright flashes illuminate Dr. Liana's suit, reflecting across the dusty plain. She holds it close, trying to stabilize the readings, but the energy seems to be reacting with the environment. When they finally reach the base of the giant structure, they stand in awe. The structure towers above them like the skeleton of a sleeping beast. Smooth surfaces rise into curved peaks. Deep grooves run along its sides like veins. The material looks ancient, yet untouched by time. Nova whispers, "This doesn't feel abandoned, it feels paused." The narrator describes it, a monument to a world that once lived. A reminder that something powerful walked here long before humans ever touched the stars. Dr. Liana places the glowing stone near the surface of the structure. The reaction is immediate. The stone emits a sharp, bright light, so bright that the astronauts step back in shock. The structure responds. A low hum vibrates through the air. The dust around them rises slightly. The glowing lines along the walls begin to blink, slowly at first, then faster, like a machine waking from a long sleep. Commander Elias raises his voice. Everyone stay alert. The narrator heightens the suspense. For thousands of years, the world remained silent, but now, touched by human hands, it remembers. The hum grows louder. The ground beneath them trembles softly. Blue light spreads across the structure's surface, following old pathways like blood rushing through veins. The symbols carved in the stone glow faintly. Dr. Liana stares, stunned. "We're not activating it," she says. "It's recognizing us." The narrator whispers, "The builders of this planet may be long gone, but their creations are not. The astronauts step back as a large section of the structure slides open, revealing a dark interior. Cold air rushes out, carrying the smell of ancient dust not touched by sunlight for ages. The doorway glows from within, inviting them or warning them. Commander Elias looks at his team. None of them speak, but they all understand. They must go inside. As they take their first steps into the unknown, the narrator ends part 2 with deep tension. The surface of this world tells only the beginning. Inside this forgotten structure lies the truth of a civilization lost to time. And what the astronauts are about to discover will challenge everything they believe about life in the universe. The doorway of the ancient structure stands open like the mouth of a creature that has slept for centuries. Cold, stale air flows out from the darkness, brushing against the astronauts' suits as if the building itself exhales. The glowing blue patterns on the walls pulse slowly, as though guiding them inside. The narrator speaks softly, carrying a sense of foreboding. Every discovery in science begins with a step into the unknown, but some steps lead into secrets that were never meant to be found. Commander Elias stands at the threshold, his helmet light shining into the darkness. The beam seems to stretch endlessly, swallowed by the structure's interior. The team checks their scanners. Strange static fills their instruments. No life signs, no movement, yet the energy inside is active, too active for a dead civilization. Dr. Liana places a sensor on the doorway wall. It immediately overloads, sparking briefly. "This structure is generating controlled energy," she murmurs. "But how and why after so long?" No one has an answer. They step inside. The floor is smooth and polished, made of the same unknown material as the exterior. Their boots make soft echoes that disappear almost instantly, absorbed by the strange walls. The hallway stretches forward, long and curved, bending slowly like a tunnel inside a living creature. As they move deeper, the vibrations begin again, soft at first, a gentle tremor in the ground, then stronger. The astronauts stop, gripping their tools as the walls pulse with faint light. Nova checks her scanner. "The signals aren't random," she says. "They're patterned, almost like instructions." The narrator adds some signals guide, others warn. Only time reveals the difference. Dr. Liana studies the pulses. Each vibration has a rhythm, repeating like a coded message. But the code is ancient, built in a language not meant for human understanding. Yet something about it feels intentional, deliberate. As they walk deeper, the hallway opens into a massive chamber. The ceiling arches high above them, glowing softly with shifting patterns of blue light. Strange pillars rise from the floor like frozen waves, each covered in carvings similar to those outside. But here, the carvings glow faintly, as if reacting to the presence of the astronauts. Commander Elias slowly turns his helmet camera around the room. This is not natural, not accidental. Someone built this with purpose. They move forward, stepping between the towering pillars. Every few steps, the ground hums. The vibrations come from beneath the chamber, rising through their suits. The hum is steady, deep, rhythmic, like machinery buried under miles of rock. Dr. Liana places another sensor on the ground. The device floods with data before shutting off completely. She stares at the dead screen. "There's something under us," she whispers. "Something big." The narrator heightens the tension. Beneath the dust of forgotten worlds lie engines of memory, and sometimes engines of power. Nova moves toward a circular platform at the center of the chamber. It is smooth, flawless, and more reflective than anything else in the structure. As she approaches, the glowing stone she carries buzzes sharply inside its container. Dr. Liana's stone buzzes too. The glowing stones react to the platform like magnets pulling toward their source. Commander Elias orders them to keep a safe distance, but the room has already awakened. A sudden flash of blue light erupts from the platform, filling the chamber with shimmering waves. Dust rises and floats around them like tiny stars. The walls ripple with new patterns, symbols that shift and change as if alive. Nova's voice trembles. It's communicating. The narrator whispers. Silence is not the language of advanced civilizations. Their voices echo in energy, light, and code. Dr. Liana interprets the pulse intervals. The signals are not random. They are sending direction, pointing downward below the chamber. "It wants us to go deeper," she says. Commander Elias does not like the idea, but the platform is already responding. Slowly, silently, the floor in front of them begins to slide open, revealing a spiral ramp descending into blue darkness. A breath of colder air rises from below. The narrator adds, "When a world shows you its hidden depths, it is offering more than knowledge. It is offering a choice." The team activates their helmet lights and begins the descent. The ramp curves downward in a wide circle. The walls beside them glow with moving patterns, maps, star fields, strange geometric shapes. It feels like walking through the memories of another species. Halfway down, the vibrations intensify. The ground beneath them beats like a distant drum. Every pulse grows stronger, deeper, more alive. Nova stops suddenly. I hear something." Her voice trembles. At first, the others only hear their own breathing. Then slowly, faintly, a sound rises from below the darkness. A low hum, a wave of tones, like a chorus of deep bells echoing under miles of stone. The narrator comments, "Sound travels differently in places not designed for humans. A whisper may become a warning or an invitation." The ramp ends in a new chamber much larger than the one above. The ceiling is lost in darkness. The walls glow faintly in waves, creating the illusion of movement. The air feels heavier here, almost thick enough to touch. At the center of the room stands a machine, massive, towering. Ancient, it looks like a giant core, its surface covered in intricate carvings and glowing lines that pulse with life. Cables or roots extend from it in every direction, disappearing into the floor and walls. The machine vibrates with every hum, with every pulse, with every signal the astronauts felt above. Dr. Liana approaches cautiously, her scanner shaking in her hand. This is the source of everything," she whispers. "The signals, the vibrations, the energy. It all comes from this." Nova studies the machine closely. It's still active after millions of years. Commander Elias circles slowly, staring at the endless network of patterns. Whatever built this was far beyond us. The narrator builds suspense. Civilizations do not fade quietly. Their greatest creations live on long after their voices vanish. As Dr. Liana moves closer, the glowing stone reacts violently. It lights up and pulses in perfect rhythm with the machine. She raises it carefully, and to her shock, the machine pulses back, responding. The giant core awakens further. Light shoots up its surface. Symbols shift rapidly. The ground trembles. Alarms ring inside the astronauts' helmets. Nova shouts, "It's matching the energy of the stone." Commander Elias pulls them back, but the machine has already locked onto them. A beam of light bursts from its center, scanning the chamber. When it touches the astronauts, their suits vibrate sharply. Their helmet screens flicker. Data streams across their displays in a language they cannot understand. Dr. Liana gasps, "It's analyzing us." The narrator intensifies the moment. Some machines archive information, others protect it, and some wake only when the time has come to reveal it. Suddenly, the vibrations stop. The humming ceases. A deep silence fills the chamber, and then the machine speaks. Not with words, not with sound, but with images projected into the air, shimmering holograms made of blue light. The astronauts watch in awe. They see planets forming, stars collapsing, civilizations rising across distant galaxies and then falling. The final image stops the astronauts' breath, a world that looks exactly like this planet, alive once, full of life and light, being consumed by a massive cosmic force. The narrator whispers, "The lost builders left behind a message and a warning." The hologram fades. The chamber grows dim again. The machine goes silent. But one thing is clear: whatever destroyed this ancient civilization may still exist. And the astronauts are not alone in the universe. The holograms fade slowly, dissolving into thin blue dust that drifts through the chamber like dying stars. For a long moment, no one speaks. The astronauts stand frozen, their hearts pounding inside their suits. What they have just seen is impossible, too big, too ancient, too powerful for their minds to process instantly. The narrator breaks the silence softly. In every journey of exploration, there comes a moment when discovery becomes more than knowledge. It becomes truth, and truth has a weight of its own. Commander Elias steps forward, staring at the still glowing surface of the enormous ancient machine. His voice is low, careful. "We just watched a civilization die," he says. "And whatever ended them left this behind." Dr. Liana feels the weight of the glowing stone in her hand. It pulses softly, calmer now, but still alive with unknown energy. Her mind races with questions, too many to count. Who built this machine? Why leave a message? And most importantly, to whom? The giant core sits in front of them like a sleeping heart, no longer hostile, no longer scanning, but watchful. The walls around them glow with slow waves of light, as if breathing. Nova circles the machine, her helmet camera recording every detail. "This place," she whispers, "is not a ruin, it's not abandoned, it's functioning, waiting." The narrator adds tension. Ancient structures do not wake for no reason. Something in the presence of humanity stirred its memory. As the astronauts regroup, the machine suddenly emits a soft chime, gentle and melodic, different from the harsh mechanical pulsations earlier. The ground vibrates faintly and the chamber walls shift, revealing a new passage. A door, smooth, circular, and glowing blue, slides open silently. Commander Elias lifts his arm. Eyes up, we move carefully. The air feels colder as they step into the newly revealed corridor. It is narrower than the previous chambers, but the glow is stronger here. Brighter symbols, clearer lines, and streams of light running like veins along the walls. Dr. Liana studies them quietly. This corridor feels newer. The energy flow is stronger. The narrator suggests, some parts of the past remain untouched by time. Others wait to be awakened. They walk deeper. Small chambers appear on either side, rooms filled with strange devices shaped like cubes, spirals, or flowing curves. Some float freely in suspension, untouched by gravity. Others rest on platforms, glowing gently. Not one of the devices shows dust or decay. Nova approaches a floating cube. It rotates slowly, humming softly. When she holds her scanner near it, symbols appear on its surface, shifting, rearranging, almost communicating. It recognizes our presence, Nova murmurs. The narrator, to be recognized by a lost civilization is to become part of its story. As they continue, the corridor curves into an enormous chamber, a circular room with a domed ceiling that sparkles with thousands of tiny lights. It looks like a galaxy map, but the patterns do not match any known star system. Commander Elias studies the glowing constellations overhead. These stars, they're not ours. This map doesn't belong to the Milky Way. Dr. Liana zooms in her helmet camera. Maybe it's where the ancient builders came from. The narrator deepens the mystery. Civilizations travel not only across space, but across time. Their origins may lie far beyond the reach of human telescopes. Beneath the stardome sits a raised pedestal with a transparent sphere resting on top. Inside the sphere, a swirling cloud of energy shifts constantly, blue, white, gold, changing like a living storm. Nova approaches slowly. "It's beautiful," she whispers. Dr. Liana scans it carefully. The readings are impossible. This sphere holds raw energy, massive amounts, controlled perfectly. Commander Elias narrows his eyes. Controlled by what? As if answering him. The sphere flashes. A beam of light shoots outward, forming a hologram above the pedestal. But this time the images do not show the ancient civilization. This time they show the astronauts themselves. Their ship appears first, floating quietly in orbit, then their landing, then their walk across the planet's surface, then their entry into the structure. Commander Elias steps back. It's been watching us. The hologram continues. It shows Earth next, bright blue, full of human life. Then the projection zooms outward, showing the Milky Way slowly rotating. Lines appear, paths leading from Earth to other star systems. Dr. Liana breathes shakily. It's mapping our future or our possible future. The narrator adds, the builders left behind messages not only of their past but warnings for those who would follow their path. Suddenly the hologram changes. A dark shape appears, a swirling cloud, massive, hungry, stretching across space like a growing shadow. It swallows stars, it devours planets, it expands without mercy. This is the same force they saw earlier destroying the ancient civilization. Nova whispers, her voice shaking. It's showing us the thing that killed them. The hologram zooms closer. The shadow is not a creature, not a weapon, not a planet. It is something else, something cosmic, a collapse, a tear in space, a consuming void. Dr. Liana gasps. It's a gravitational anomaly, a moving one, like a traveling black storm. The narrator intensifies the moment. Across the universe, cosmic forces exist that do not follow the rules humans know. Some bend space, some consume it. The hologram moves again. It shows Earth, then the shadow, and then a line connecting the two. Commander Elias stiffens. It's coming toward our region of space. Silence fills the chamber. The implication is massive, terrifying, world-changing. The ancient builders left their warning because they knew the danger would one day reach others. And now, humanity stands in its path. The structure responds again. The lights dim. The floor trembles. The pedestal sinks slowly into the ground, sealing the sphere inside. A deep rumble echoes through the walls as another platform rises from the center of the room, revealing a capsule-shaped object, smooth, metallic, and glowing from within. Nova approaches cautiously. What is this? Dr. Liana examines the readings. It's data, a memory core, maybe a record or instructions. Commander Elias grips the sides of the capsule. Could this help us stop that thing? The narrator replies gently, darkly. Every warning carries a solution, but solutions have a price. The capsule opens silently, revealing a smaller device inside, shaped like a ring with strange engravings and a glowing inner surface. The astronauts stare in awe. Dr. Liana realizes something. This isn't just information, it's a tool. Nova's eyes widen. A tool for what? Before she finishes, the chamber lights brighten sharply. The carvings on the walls pulse faster, almost frantic. The structure is speaking again. A final hologram appears, showing the ancient builders one last time. Tall, graceful beings of pure light, their bodies shimmering like energy wrapped in form. They surround something, a smaller version of the ring device now in the astronauts' hands. The hologram zooms in. The beings activate the ring. A burst of light erupts, a barrier forms, a shield strong enough to hold back the cosmic shadow for a moment. Commander Elias whispers, they tried to stop it. The narrator steps in with emotional depth. A dying civilization used its final strength not to save itself but to warn those who would live after them. The hologram fades. The chamber dims once more. The last pulse of light ripples across the room like a heartbeat fading into silence. Nova holds the ring device gently. They wanted us or anyone to take this. Commander Elias nods slowly. This is their legacy, their message, their hope. The narrator concludes part 4 with slow, rising tension. Deep beneath the surface of a forgotten world, humanity has uncovered more than ancient technology. They have inherited the final gift of a lost civilization, a chance to survive what is coming. As the astronauts prepare to leave the chamber, one final mystery remains. What awakened this structure after millions of silent years? And why now?